Hello, boys and girls.
Guess who's back again?
If you're new to our channel, welcome. There's three of us, Adib, Fardeem, and me. We try out challenges and habits for 30 days, see how it goes, and report back to you so that you can see if that's something you want to try out. If that sounds interesting to you, be sure to subscribe and also check out our other videos. This particular episode is on exercising. However, Adib sat this one out so that he can be our host. Although just between you and me, I think he might have exercised way more than me or Fardim combined. Since me and Fardim had different experience levels going into the challenge, we tried out our own routines and we tried whatever we thought would fit best into our lives. And we'll discuss more about it. We'll have graphics show up to help you see what we were planning on doing and what we did. But yeah, in this episode, we discuss overtraining and how that can happen. We discuss diet and its impacts. We discuss how willing things into existence just doesn't work out. We talk about the time Farzim ran a marathon, mental health, and energy levels and its relation to exercising. So this is gonna get a bit feisty in here, but we discuss body weight training versus weight training. And we also discuss goal setting and transcendental goals and what they mean. And there's a whole lot of Tim Ferriss. Like a whole lot. I don't even know who he is. Anyways, if any of this sounds interesting to you, keep watching. I hope we can itch that scratch. For the rest of you, I guess you'll be missing out on all that bulking your brain. Yes, good people, it is a very underdocumented scientific fact that listening to Idea Khichuri makes your brain go big. Like really big. 9 out of 10 doctors recommend, and I think the last one, he's just a hater. Anyways, jokes aside, I'll hand you off to Adib and hope you enjoy.
All right, boys. What's up? So we're back. We're back with Idea Khichuri. You guys have been doing, or supposedly we're supposed to do exercise for a month. So Ishmam, let's start with you because there's some insider information that I'm aware of. Ishmam, what did you decide to do for the 1 month of January? What were the exercises you picked?
Okay, so for me, my whole plan, I think I'll have it up somewhere, was initially to have have me going to the gym, playing football, and doing cardio. And so that would just take up 7 days. I was thinking 3 days gym, 3 days football, alternating days. And then the last day I finish off with cardio because I thought cardios don't affect me that much. But doing that for a while, after the first week, I was absolutely drained. The gym, I've never been to the gym. This was my first time to the gym, and gym drains a lot of out of you. So at the end, I decided that I'll keep with this sort of schedule, but I'll take a rest day off whenever needed, just not 2 days consecutively. But then life happened again and I got injured. So I had to take a few days off. It wasn't anything serious, so I could get back. And then I was doing the same things. Sometimes because getting a spot at the gym was getting harder and harder. I guess a lot of people were keeping to their New Year's resolution this time at UBC. So it was getting really hard to get spots. And so any day I didn't get a spot, I'd just go play football. But I think that also worked against me because I had one knee injury. And yeah, I think I overexerted my knee again and I injured my knee again. Again, not too badly. But anyways, I ended up with the whole thing taking a rest day here and there. and just mostly practicing football, which is what ultimately my goal was. Like I just wanted to get better
Right.
at playing football. Um,
Hmm.
and all of that was just to supplement that. And
Sweet.
yeah, I'd say it turned out well. Unfortunately, I don't think it was any different from what I normally do. I wanted to make it like a more daily, regularish habit, whereas it was like an on and off thing that I always do. So the only thing,
Right.
good thing that came out of it was I started going to the gym. Yeah, that's that.
Sweet. So you picked up a new habit just by this whole challenge, right?
Yeah.
Sweet, sweet. Just a point on what you said about rest days and basically destroying your body and your knees. You had been warned. Just before we started this challenge, I warned you. Several of your friends warned you on our Instagram
Yeah.
stories. You're a bad boy. You are a bad boy. Anyway, so Fardeem, Fardeem, what did you want to do this month?
So, so should I also say what I ended up doing as well, or is that does
Let's
that come
leave
later?
that for let's leave that little surprise for towards
Yeah,
the end of the
yeah.
episode.
Sounds good. So my go-to was always Nike Training Club. So
Yeah.
the plan was just to do a follow-up plan from there, and also I was on a diet, and the plan was to keep to that diet. It is for those curious, it's the slow carb diet recommended by Tim Ferriss in the book The 4 Hour Body. But yeah, that's basically it.
Mhm. Yeah. So Ishmam, yeah. Did you have to change your diet at all, or were you sticking with the same diet?
Me?
Yeah.
Uh, so I stuck with the same diet for the month, but after the month ended, I realized something very interesting. Because in the month of January, I exercised decently enough. Like I think I exercised like 21 to 22 days out of the 30 days. Uh, and the interesting thing is, when I was living in my relative's house, I did zero exercise. But because I had like my grandmother there and my aunts there, they would cook all this like healthy food, and I'd have healthy food like every day. When I came back from my relative's house, I checked my fat percentage. It was down to 11.8%, which is
Wow.
insane. Yeah.
That
And I
is
didn't,
amazing. I will just underscore for like, because I was someone who understood nothing about body fat percentage. It's a much better indicator of your physique than your weight. And 11%, like Ishmael was probably looking like a sexy beast, like walking down the street, just probably getting hurtling DMs.
I still don't have a lot of muscle mass. I was just looking like a thin ass dude.
Fardeem, just on Fardeem's point, I think you mean like he was looking more like a sexy beast than he already is. I mean, I think we'll all agree. Ishmam's just the pure god when it comes to physique.
Yeah, yeah.
Go ahead, Ishmam.
But anyways, so 11.8% was where I saw I was at. I was absolutely shocked because before going there, my fat percentage was hovering around 15 to 16. And that I
Mhm.
was there for 3 months only. And my weight only went down 1 kg. So it wasn't like I was losing muscle
Damn.
mass or stuff. So it was
Right.
like really good. I was really surprised, but I couldn't maintain that because eating that much healthy food is super expensive for me. I went back to my old diet, which is rice and chicken with some vegetables. And in doing that, in just 1.5 months, I went back up to 15% fat. Even though I was exercising like crazy, I did all these things, but my fat percentage like stabilizes at 15 and it just stays there. I guess if I ate more unhealthily, it would go up even higher. So I think for anyone who's trying to reduce their fat percentage, um, consider changing up your diet before focusing on exercise, maybe. Or at least that's what I've noticed from my experience.
Right. Just on the note of fat percentages, how did you go about measuring that? Like, what were some of the tools you used?
Okay, so I guess I'll link this. It's
Yeah.
Fitbit Aria. They have, so the one I got was the previous model than the one they have right now. The one they have right now is technically cheaper, but I've heard it's kind of worse. So look for Aria 2. I'd suggest don't get the latest one because I've heard bad things about it. It's an estimation, so it might be off plus 1% or minus 2%. The most important thing is like figuring out what the change is because that is more reliable. And also taking it at a consistent time is also good. But yeah, Fitbit Aria, big shout out to Fitbit. Sponsor
I think
us
the other
sometime.
the way these scales work for people interested in the science is it basically sends electrical, like a very small dosage up your body, and then because your body has like water and stuff, you know, sees what the electricity you get back is and tries to figure it out. I probably butchered the science, but something to do with electricity. Um, and so the corollary to that is you want to maintain the similar hydration levels. So if you do it every day after morning, after you went to the bathroom, you'll get more consistent results. And as Ishmam said, you want to have do it like you want to see the change, not the absolute value.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, exactly. Don't obsess over the number with this and pretty much weight or anything you're looking at. And Fardeem, like, did you use a similar method when you were measuring your fat percentage, or were you using something else?
So I still haven't measured my fat percentage ever.
Right.
No, I actually did it once. But it's a super important thing to measure. I didn't do it because I couldn't find a reliable way, especially in Bangladesh. And I probably should have done it when I was in the States. But I was actually thinking of getting the Withings scale. It's also one of these like scales, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. It's sort of like the Fitbit Aria. So yeah, there you go.
Yep, sweet. We've got some great products for the viewers to take away and try themselves. Shifting the conversations towards you, Fardeem, because I'm going to shit on you now. Tell me about what you ended up doing with the in the month.
Yeah, so let me. This is gonna be this portion of the video is gonna be called Fardeem and his bad excuses. So I started my internship at the start of the challenge, and I think overall that was an incredibly bad idea. Just because I take my work very seriously, and something had to go, things got hard, and what ended up happening, most days I just stopped working out. So first couple of days I tried doing it regularly. I hit like maybe 6 days of the first 6 days, and did the Nike like training whatever thing, and yeah, and then after that it was just I didn't do any days. And like, what was funny, I was reflecting on this yesterday because we were going to do the show today. And I was like, there has never been a time that I committed to a Nike training club program and actually finished it. And I have done this like over 10, 15 times. And there's this Albert Einstein quote. It's like the sign of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And part of my personal philosophy is that you should never ever rely on willpower to do anything. You should make the thing so enjoyable that you just end up doing it. You don't need willpower. I think willpower doesn't work. That's probably a name of a book, Benjamin Hardy. Anyways. And yeah, like it never worked. Like I've had success with other products like Nike Running Club. Unfortunately, the place where I used to run in Dhaka is closed because of COVID, so I can't go there. So I tried using Nike Training Club and I couldn't do it. and I just felt like such a big idiot because, it hasn't worked for me ever. And I tried doing it again. And I think mostly it's because it's actually very funny, Ishmael, what you were saying about losing body fat. Everyone tells you to exercise where that has like, zero, or maybe not zero, but like it's such a hard thing to do to lose body fat using exercise. The example I give is that if you're jogging at a medium pace for 30 minutes, that's obviously a very exhausting exercise, but you come back and eat like half an Oreo, like one side of the Oreo, and you're basically at calorie neutral. So I don't know how people expect to like lose any amount of fat with exercise. I mean, it's all about diet, and I've seen that in my own life.
If I can add a
Go ahead.
caveat there, I mostly used to do body weight training, and because I couldn't get spots at the gym regularly, I was doing mostly football training. So I have heard if you want to lose weight, one of the better ways of doing it is basically gaining some muscle, because the more muscle you have, the more energy you're going to like sort of need. So there's that, which I haven't done, so I can't speak to that, but it's also something that's like there. So alongside dieting, but if you do body weight exercises, you're gonna have to do like a lot of it. Like you're gonna have to run marathons before you actually start seeing significant drops in your fat percentage.
Yeah, Ishmael, I totally
Um,
agree, and I was gonna come to that. But the other thing that I wanted to mention was that, um, what was I gonna mention? Okay, never mind. Adib, go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry for
no
that.
worries. So very interesting thoughts there. Just a caveat I'd like to add, like I completely agree with these two in the sense that you can't expect to lose all of your weight just by exercise. Doing exercise doesn't really add much. Like in fact, most of the energy that your body uses, it's just your baseline. Like it's the baseline amount of body energy that your body will use. So if you do an additional hour, 2 hours of exercise, you're probably going to burn on 5 to 10% more energy, and that is really nothing. As Fardeem simply stated, having half an Oreo would negate whatever treadmill running you've been doing. Um, Personally, I'm not one to preach about diet because I just had a large McDonald's meal. But I found that cutting out some very heavy carb loaded foods, such as rice, noodles, instant noodles in particular, stuff like that. If you can just cut down on that on a day-to-day basis, you'll lose weight, you'll shed weight, literally shed weight, and you want to replace that with healthy foods, veggies, stuff like that. And in general, the goal of losing body fat or exercising isn't just to lose weight or like get that number down. It's rather that there are significant mental and physiological benefits to it. So I want to touch on that a bit, and I'm going to ask these two how they found whether they've experienced any of these benefits throughout the course of this challenge. So I've compiled some supposed benefits of exercise. So I'm going to ask you guys and see what you guys think. So exercise improves mood. Let's just get how. What do you guys think about that? Has that worked for you? Has that happened for you?
For me, I'd say I wasn't in the best of mental states in the month of January. But one thing I can say is that every time I was at the gym and every time I was at the field, I was always like the happiest, like of all, like my entire day. It's hard to like sort of push yourself to get out. But once I was out, once I was in the gym, once I was lifting the weights, or once I was doing a dribbling course or whatever, I felt good. So there's that. I think I think that's a more long-term thing. So if I am continuing my exercising thing. I'm taking a bit of a rest to for my knees. But once that's done, I'll get back on exercising again. And yeah, usually from what I've noticed previously, it definitely has a great effect on my mood. Not playing or not doing something physical makes me really, really depressed. I can give you that.
Hmm, sweet, sweet. Not being depressed is a great thing.
Yeah.
Just as a note. Fardim, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think so. Because my January experiment was such a shit show, um, I bought a kettlebell, and I've been meaning to buy a kettlebell. There's such a fun story behind this, but it's very personal. Adib knows about it, and I don't want to share it on the podcast.
He
But
doesn't
yeah,
want
I
to share
finally
it
got
with
a.
me either.
Ishmael, we can do it after the show. We can do it after the show. No worries,
We
no
got
worries.
some goss. We got some goss.
Uh, Um, so I got this kettlebell, and I've been doing it thrice a week. And I'll say this, man. Like, I feel like as soon as I touched that kettlebell, my testosterone level went like through the roof. And ever since, like, I think weight training is just so underrated. Like
Yeah.
I really I genuinely from the bottom of my heart, I hate all the people who told me that, do body weight exercises. It's so dumb. You know, it's not fun. And it's just so annoying. But like lifting weights, like with the kettlebell, it's just like I generally want to do it. Like today's a Monday. This is my kettlebell day, and I'm actually very looking forward to doing my kettlebell swings after the call, and I'm looking forward to it. And when I do it, dude, I feel like a beast. I genuinely feel like a beast. And you know, there you go.
Okay.
To add
Did
to
this
that,
just
to
come
add to
back
that, wait.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go
Adib,
ahead.
sorry,
All good.
Fardeem
No
just
worries.
reminded me of something. So, as you guys may have known if you watched us on Instagram, I was doing my gym early in the morning, so like at 6:30. I have had classes at 9 a.m. and I barely managed to reach them. But that the gym at 7, for which I had to wake up at 6:30, I haven't missed a single day. I went every single time I booked it, I went because it was just the first day was hard because I didn't know what to expect. Once I lifted a few weights, I just knew I had to be there. Like waking up, it was
Yeah.
insanely motivating, just like getting out there. Even though it was dark outside, I'd just waltz out there because I knew what was coming. So yeah, there's that.
That's facts. That is absolute facts. Yeah, I love that. And that sort of just brings us back to what Fardeem said previously about enjoying the process and making it fun for yourself. Body weight exercises and cardio, I personally hate. I cannot run on a treadmill for 30 minutes. Like it's not going to happen. And recently I started going to the gym with my friends, and I like it. I'm still lazy. I'm not going to say I'm not lazy. I still miss a day or two. But in general, the long-term trend has been very fun. And there's just like a primal thing about lifting a heavy weight over your head, being like, yeah, I'm a big strong man. You know, like that's like you can't get away from that. It's just primal. We're like we've evolved for that. We've evolved away from that. We still have it inside us. Um, but yeah, so exercise improving mood. We both have agreements there. I will third that statement. Next, boosting energy.
Wait, Adib, I
What do
wanna
you
say
guys?
something here. Okay,
Oh
I'll
yeah, go
start
for
with
it.
the boosting energy, because so every single person on the internet, you know, has this claim that, yeah, man, when I'm exercising, I just have so much energy in the day. But dude, that's just so. I don't agree at all, because when I exercise, I just feel so tired, and I literally have to take a whole like 2 hours, you know, lying in the bed like a blob and not doing anything, or like on my phone, just to like get back up and recharge. And yeah, like I don't know, like I don't see where these energy gains are coming from. Like when I do a hard exercise, I don't want to do anything else in the day anymore. But maybe it's because like I don't consume any carbs in my diet, and so maybe I'm just like glucose depleted. That might also be.
Okay, I guess I'll
Ishmael?
go now. Um, uh, I this month, I don't know if I saw any significant increases in energy level. Maybe slightly, but it wasn't like super significant. But again, from previous past experience, when me and Adib we used to play back in high school, that I remember like coming from football practice and literally feeling like I can take on like the entire world right now. Like after that shower, I could get all my homework done in 1 hour. If I had to do that before going to play, it would take me like 4 or 5 hours. But like after that, after coming back from practice, taking a shower, I'm ready to do anything. So I've had those moments of like extreme energy after exercise. I guess it's like a boost of adrenaline and endorphins and all that good stuff. But I haven't noticed that specifically during gym, because I am a very skinny, lanky dude, and when I lift weights, my arms are very cramped up, and so even if I have energy, I can't do anything. So it didn't work out that well. But when I did go play football, I did notice like that similar effect to a lesser degree, because I guess I was practicing less intensely than we were back in high school.
Right. Yeah. No. By the way, just a note on that. If you've watched any of our episodes at all, you'll know that we don't do the same thing every time. But there is a common theme in every one of our videos, and it's that Ishmael will find a way to relate it to football. Whether it's art, whether it's exercise, whether it's sleeping, there will be a relation to football. And at least one time, he will mention the fact that we used to play football together. It's come up. Like it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love it. But regardless, thanks for that, Ishmael. Very interesting points there. And I just like to go back to Fardeem for a second in terms of boosting energy. I'd say that Fardeem, since you've just started, since it's only been a month or so that you've started, and like you said, your diet may be glucose depleted. That is, of course, a possibility. But since you've just started, your body might not be used to the sort of intensive exercise that you're going into. Plus, since you're only doing it once a week, it's not that intense yet. And I'd say once you get into like a rhythm, 3 days a week, 4 days a week, you'll start to see that, yeah, okay, you're tired immediately after working out, say for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, but you'll take a shower or you'll have lunch or dinner, whatever. And then after that, the rest of the day, you'll find yourself in an elevated mood and with a slightly increased energy. So I'd say keep at it and see how it goes. Yeah, do you guys have any finishing thoughts on that in terms of boosting energy?
I think I've said my piece.
Yeah.
Sweet, sweet,
Yeah.
sweet. We've got another one here about reducing the risk of chronic disease. I guess we'll find that out depending on who dies first of the three of us. So I'll be skipping on to the
Check back
next
in
one.
roughly 70 years.
Yeah.
Check back in 70 years. Love it. So, Fardeem, we skipped by this a bit, but you were bogged down with a lot of commitments this month, like you mentioned with the internship, and a lot of your time was taken away. So you struggled to integrate this new habit of exercise into your life. How did you get by that? What were some of the struggles you faced, and what were the ways you got past it?
Um, yeah. I think. Sorry, what was the question again?
No worries, bro.
Happens, man. Happens.
Yeah. So it's what struggles did you face in terms of integrating exercise into your new lifestyle?
Yeah, I'll say this, right? So I've been reflecting just about life and all, and I've seen that. Look, there was a point in my life where Adib can testify to this. Like I was never the guy who would do sports of any kind in school. I didn't. That wasn't my thing. I would find very creative ways to not go to the field, not to run around, and so on and so forth. And for a long time, the story in my head was that I'm just like not that guy. I'm not. I cannot be physically fit, and that's just the card I've been dealt with. But in my own sort of self-improvement journey, I realized that was a limiting belief. And during my gap year, I actually trained for a marathon. I ran like a 10K, and I was honestly in the best shape of my life. I was at I would ballpark to maybe 15% body fat. I looked great. I was feeling great, and so on and so forth. But and it's been hard to get to that level again. I've been thinking why, and what I realized was that when I was training for the marathon, that was the number one thing in my life at that point, right? So I would wake up in the morning and I was like, what do I have to do today? Today, today's my sprint day, and I'll be doing 400-meter repeats or whatnot. Today's a long run day, and I'll be running 5K today or something like that. Um, and I have seen that when moments in my life where I look back and I feel that I have accomplished something, were moments in my life where I was really focused on one thing. And I think for me, I'm just that sort of person who really can do a lot of things at once at the level that I desire. Like I really, when I do something, when I put my name on it, I really want that to be really, really good. When I was preparing for my marathon, I was reading like 2 books a week on running, whether it's memoirs of people, of famous runners, or about how do I fix my running technique, how do I get my sprint time up, how do I do this, that, or the other thing, how should I manage hydration, yada yada yada. And I think I love going into that depth and knowing a lot about like the singular topic. And here, I think what ended up happening, my internship is just so much more important to me right now, in terms of I can see what the leverage is. I can see that if I do an exceptional job, that will matter, and exercise can wait. And I think for a lot of people, exercise can wait and it just gets pushed out. But I'm actually very hopeful of my kettlebell routine, because it really only takes like 20 minutes a day. I feel great. I really want to do it, and I want to see. I'll report back in a month to what happened. But I think the main problem was that exercise for me was a massive undertaking. Just like for me, like some people, like for me, reading is easy. For some people, but reading is hard. For me, exercise is hard. And just managing a full-time role where I'm trying to go above and beyond, and also integrating this new exercise routine was just extremely hard.
So just to build off from Fardeem, I think two things he mentioned. Um, I think it's always good to have like some transcendental goal. I think we mentioned this previously. Like if you have this one thing in your mind that you're working towards, you will start picking up good habits and everything to get to that goal. That goal might not necessarily be the goal of your life, but if you can sort of focus in on something, and that could be abstracted out, so it's multiple different things where um, multiple different things of your life is affected for that, and that would be great. But if it's like one thing, if you're like giving A levels or something and you want to focus on that, that's cool. If you like sports a lot and you want to focus on football, you could do that too. uh and like there's all of these things, and like you learn about life as you go through these things. um and I think that's important. The second thing I think that Fardi mentioned was that he was at like this peak at one point, and now he feels like he's fallen off. And I think at least me, and I would say a lot of people I know, can relate to that, where we look back on this one point in time when we did this really amazing thing, and now we're so detached from it that we have no idea how we could ever go back to that. And I this I have talked to with my guidance counselor, um, and he sort of mentioned how sort of me looking at this, me looking at the past and seeing myself as this sort of unattainable, like perfect guy at that point won't be helpful. You have to sort of accept who you are right now, meditation, um, and you got to sort of move on from there. So just trying to get better every day. And what happens is, if you can sort of forget for a brief moment about everything that has happened in the past, and all you care about is just like, again, the transcendental goal helps. Like if you have a goal and you just work towards it every day, little by little, at one point, that past the day that you look back on will be like today. You're gonna look at the day today is, and you're gonna be like, wow, I am that person today. And then you might fall off again, and then you might have to start all over again. But that's just life. And you can sort of keep on going forward. It's like the stock market. Dips and
Boom.
just goes up.
Boom. That's such a timely comment considering GME and Robinhood and all that's going on.
Yeah.
That's for a different episode. But lovely underscore there, Ishram. The importance of goal setting. Yeah. So something I just like to add to that is, Ishram's already said it, but just be realistic. Fardeem, obviously, he wanted to run a 10K marathon, but when after he couldn't run anymore, like I mean, from a point where he wasn't running as much, and the reason, at least what I think, the reason he was able to succeed in that so well is simply because he made that his number one priority. He didn't have the internship that he has now. He didn't have the sort of university commitments that he probably has now. So yeah, in terms of goal setting, I'll just say to make them as realistic possible, have a look at the SMART goal setting framework. It's not, I'm not sure if it's used just for business goals, but I think it applies to quite a bit to life goals as well. You want to make them specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. I think it's the last one, time-based, something like that. Anyways, so yeah, have a look at that sort of goal setting framework, and that will probably be a really good way to start building an exercise habit, a reading habit, any sort of habit you deem necessary for yourself. Another thing I'd like to point out from what Fardeem said, in terms of his kettlebell routine, it only takes 20 minutes. Is it the ideal workout? Probably not, but it works for him. A good plan that works and you can keep to is much better than the perfect plan that you can't stick to, right? That's the wise words of Tim Ferriss, The Love of Fardeem's Life. But yeah, he's completely right. And I'm so glad to see that it's been working for Fardeem. And I just want to dig more deep into Fardeem, the kettlebell routine that you're into. Is it just 20 minutes per day, once a week, or how are you doing it?
Yeah, so I'll just say that from my research, it seems to be that the kettlebell swing is probably the best workout you can do for a lay person, from like a variety of sources. Just because it like really, especially if you're sitting all day, like I do, like I just have to write a lot of code. I'm sitting in front of my computer all day, also while recording this podcast. And it works your back muscles, and it's really good for your hip hinge. And yeah, you know what? Like I did it my first week, and all these issues that I had with like waking up and feeling sore or feeling stiff were just gone. Like the ROI on this thing is just incredible. And the kettlebell swing is, I highly recommend looking up Tim Ferriss's article on it. It's called like How to Lose 45 kgs in a Month, the kettlebell swing. So basically what I do, I have a 20 kg kettlebell. I do 75 swings thrice a week on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And I do some hip lifts and some, what's that called? Like flying dog or something? Basically like
flying dog. Okay, go on.
Bird dog.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Sorry?
Bird dog. Yes,
Bird dog. Yeah. So I do those. I do 20 hip lifts and 15 bird dogs before starting, just to warm myself up for the kettlebell swing.
Sweet.
So yeah, that's been it. But I think something that you said about SMART goals, I think another thing that people can think about if something isn't working, is just thinking about what would this look like if it were easy. I think especially if someone's listening to this podcast, are interested in ideas as the ideas we discuss, it's so easy to get in the habit of, okay, I'm going to do something. I'm going to pull off some superhuman feat, conquer the world, conquer myself overnight. And you don't really need that. You can just ask yourself what would this look like if it were easy. It doesn't have to be hard, you know. It can be fun, it can be enjoyable, and then you can also get all the good results in the process. There's a great article by Tiago Forte called "Pleasure as an Organization Principle." It's all about like seeking pleasure first instead of pain. I think, and he mentions that most of society is just based around pain. Like we say, no pain, no gain, right? Where does that come from? Okay, and well, why not be like relaxed and it'd be fun.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that, bro. I'm all about the chill lifestyle. It is what it is. Um, I love that you said that. That sort of, and this comes back to something Ishmam said earlier in the show, and what you're saying now about making it easy is that life will always happen. What I mean to say by that is that you'll always have obstacles come in your way, things you probably didn't expect when you started a habit, or you'll always be able to find reasons not to start something new. But it's just about that, like what Fardeem said about making it easy for yourself and sort of just starting, finding the easiest way to do something and getting that in there. And slowly it'll grow, it'll progress. It's incremental, but incremental things have an amazing ability to compound, just as most things, right? So yeah, on that note, what I'll say is that I'm sort of done with my questions. I think it's been I think it's been a good wrap up of what you guys have done over the past month. And do you guys have any finishing thoughts or any comments you'd like to leave in terms of the challenge or anything else?
I think I just want to add one thing. I used to think my body is invincible. Don't think your body is invincible. It starts getting injured. So before an
Yeah.
exercise, warm up, take your rest days, listen to your body. And by listening to your body, I mean when something's hurting, just stop doing it. Just take the day off. It might be nothing. Come back the next day. If it doesn't hurt, continue doing it. But like sort of, and it's also hard to understand if you've sort of never gone through the whole injury process. But as you grow, you learn. You figure out that when you get up, your back starts hurting. You've gotten old, so you just got to deal with it. You're no longer a kid who can do whatever he wants and then wake up the next day and do whatever he wants again. But yeah, so warm up. Warm up.
uh, Ishmael, I feel that you've gone through a bit of pain to learn
Yeah.
that lesson. That's a hard learned lesson. Fardeem, what about you, bro?
Yeah, I think I have a fun story about this warm up thing. So when I started training for this marathon, it was so weird because I never really ran in my life. That wasn't something I do, and then I just signed up for a marathon and started training, and like dude, like I was just like a complete and utter noob. And everyone knows Fardeem's favorite topic is railing on the education system, and I'll do it again in the sense that no one teaches you like some of these basics. So I started running, and my calf muscles would like hurt so much. It was just extremely painful. And I asked one of my friend, she's an incredible runner, and she was like, "Do you not warm up?" I'm like, "Warm up? You have to do that?" And she was just completely like you dummy, like, yes, you have to warm up. And yeah, I started like doing warm ups and stretching, and so underrated, man. Like it's just body maintenance.
Yeah,
So underrated.
yeah, yeah, true. I think these two couldn't have said it any better. Before we get into kettlebells, weightlifting, any of this, you've got to warm up. Your muscles are cold, they're stiff, and if you don't get that blood flowing, you're just putting yourself at the risk of injury. I just want to talk about a cool story which Farthing reminded me of talking about his one. It's about a guy named David Goggins. If you guys have heard of him, this guy is like he's a beast. There's no other way to describe him. He's an absolute beast of willpower. Um, and he just runs ultra marathons, 100 kilometers or 100 miles, I think is how they, like several times a year, several times a month, in fact. And he was doing this for several years, and then he just started stiffening up because he didn't warm up, he didn't stretch. And then so he gets into a lot of trouble in terms of his body. He starts feeling like crap, and he goes to a doctor. They give him a bunch of medicine, doesn't work, still feels like crap. And then I think I might be getting this part wrong, but I think he lets it all, he stops working out as much because he physically can't anymore. And then he starts doing things like yoga. He starts doing things like stretching. And despite the ultra marathons he's run, the Navy SEAL training he's been through, after he started doing yoga and stretching is when he feels he's reached peak performance. And that's, I think, that's just like attesting to the power of stretching and warming up. Your body is able to do incredible things, but you have to give it the chance to sort of get you into it. It can't just be get in and go. You can't click start and it starts running. So yeah, yoga is not too much talked about, but I personally practice yoga. I would do it, I think, twice or thrice a week, and it was from Nike Training Club, what these guys were using. And it's a very short sort of session. It's like 15 minutes. But after that session, it's not just that your body feels relaxed, but while you're doing it and after you're doing it, there's an immense sense and power of mindfulness. You feel very calm simply because your body is now let loose, and that allows your mind to do so as well. So I'd like to leave you with that. From all three of us, I think it's like a resounding yes to warm up. Just keep that heat in your body for me. But yeah, that's it for today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and of course YouTube. We'll have all the links in the description below. If you want to keep tabs about what we're doing next, you can follow us on Instagram. Look at the stories. We always put stuff up on there, and have a look at the old videos. See what we're about, and yeah, stay safe and keep cooking.